TPR. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of TPR Pod. This episode is a sequel to the previous episode. I think this is the first time we've done this ever, perhaps. This was also a Jinn Stories episode. The previous one was a Chalant Crew episode with Mariam Saleem joining us and talking about Jinn Stories from her life. This one continues the theme, continues the story. Before we spoke about her early life, now it's as she was like a young adult, a teenager, and up to modern day. A couple stories from the audience. Thank you very much for sending them to us. But yeah, general creepy vibes continue, and very enjoyable to see the sheer terror in our eyes, in Sarkhel's eyes, and the joy Mariam takes and all of that. Without further ado, let's jump right into pod 171, where Spooktober continues.
तुम लोग को वैसे कभी कमेंट्स मिले on your looks के
नो हमें तो कोई वैसे कोई देखता ही नहीं ना तो we're safe. कौन
शादीशुदा है?
Why are we doing this?
मुझे comments मिले हैं.
अच्छा.
And from like the most random people and like direct मुझे नहीं.
हाँ.
दूसरों के through.
अच्छा.
Like
क्या बताओ.
Like एक दो शादियों पे some people approached, some लड़कियां approached Palvasha and they're like, who is this guy?
Oh wow.
तब यार मेरे बाल थे like
oh right. This is your long hair, long beard, right.
And like overcoat or winter wear. So and Palvasha is like, yeah, he's my husband, oh sorry. और फिर like area में एक दो आंटियां have asked my mom कि आपका बेटा बड़ा कम नजर आता है, बड़ा ही good looking, बड़ा ही smart है. And I'm saying auntiyan, they're probably my age, they're like 40, 45 or something.
Just say Rizwan just in with the MILFs, that's all he is.
Yeah. आंटी बोलो घर में कोई प्लम्बिंग का कोई काम हो कभी तो मुझे नहीं आता बंगर में आ जाऊंगा
अगर कभी मोटर चलानी हो अगर कभी मोटर चलानी हो आपकी या घर की
आंटी आपकी मोटर चल रही है
and imagine whenever I've tried weight loss, the only validation I've got from is from my neighborhood auntiyan who like मेरे weight loss के थोड़े के होने के दौरान they'll meet my mom and they बड़ा slim smart हो गया आजकल बड़ा okay चलो किसी को तो दिख रहा है.
Yeah. Every time we accuse Rizwan of weight loss, he's like, नहीं मैं तो कुछ नहीं कर रहा. We're like, shit, maybe he's dying.
अच्छा you're one of those बच्चे जो स्कूल जाते हैं और खूब पढ़ते हैं लेकिन कहते हैं कि मैंने नहीं पढ़ा एग्जाम के वक्त. You're one of those.
हम भी ना जरा आर्ग्यू नहीं करते. He's like नहीं कर रहा, नहीं कर रहा, who cares? Fuck it.
कोई उम्मीद ही नहीं है.
कोई पूछता ही नहीं कि नहीं बता दो. No. खत्म. बढ़िया. Fair. So this is the sequel. Happy Halloween. I don't know. वैसे तो इस्लाम में allow नहीं है, but this is the sequel to our Jinn Stories episode.
यार आप लोग हैलोवीन पे क्या पहन रहे हैं?
ये तो मतलब इस्लाम में अलाउ नहीं है. एक सेकंड, क्या नहीं अलाउ इस्लाम में? What is this? Horror stories.
खुशियां. देखिए ज्यादा हंसना मना.
And we're back from the cut. तो नहीं वो हॉलवीन पे यार देखो somebody invited me for Halloween. हाँ, she's like यार देखो I would suggest कि तुम स्टालिन बन के आ जाओ. मुझे तो है तुम्हारी.
Great joke.
Stalin stash.
Great banter.
पता नहीं क्या कह सकते हैं लेकिन yeah. Sarkhil, what are you doing for Halloween? तुम तो कुछ करोगे. You'll dress your daughter up for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I mean, I think
I remember the previous costume. Yeah.
The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah.
You know, I had to give it. I gave it back. I ordered it and then I like used it and then I gave it back.
Wow. Full Asian mom behavior.
Like, what am I going to do with the Mandalorian costume? Uska Zeba ka hai, but why would I keep a Mandalorian costume?
Yeah.
But I think I'm trying to do the Monsters Inc., the baby Boo and the big green guy. What's his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is your wife not a part of these costumes?
Because I think I enjoy it more than she does.
Like she doesn't care. If this is by choice, like I get it.
Yeah. Like I'm giving her like, you want to do something? He's like, yeah, I can't be asked.
Fine.
Yeah, it's not like I'm hijacking the kid, for clout.
I was like, मतलब ये क्या बदतमीजी है बेचारी को ostracize कर देते हो हर Halloween.
देखिए likes उसको तो नहीं मिलने, मुझे ही मिलने हैं, तो
Yeah, true.
Yeah, she doesn't have public.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never ever dressed up for Halloween. Never.
Okay.
Yeah. कभी हुआ
That's
नहीं.
sad, यार.
Yeah, I don't know. इस साल कुछ कर लेते हैं.
Yeah.
Like a healthy 20-year-old.
Are you doing something, Mariam?
Well, now that I'm not a healthy 20-year-old, I think I'm making a plan to watch Focus 2 with my friends.
Okay.
And then
It's a Disney Plus.
अरे भाई,
So-
you're a horror movie person, ना?
मैं?
हाँ.
Bro, क्या बात कर रहे हो?
क्या बात?
आगे हम तो सारे लूजर है ना. स्माइल की बड़ी तारीफें हो रही हैं.
Yeah, bro, I'm waiting
I've
for
heard.
I'm waiting for Smile. Yeah.
Rizwan, तुम भी
Smile.
horror हो?
Bro, बचपन से I watched like the Evil Dead series when I was 5.
That is a traumatic childhood. That's not मुझे शौक है.
Yeah, that must not have been fun.
That's like मेरे अब्बा को ख्याल नहीं था मेरा.
Bro, it was my सबसे बड़ा भाई who has always been a horror movie like crazy fan.
Okay.
So I watched a lot of horror movies with him like while growing up. So yeah, I really love horror movies. And finally like Smile looks like something that is original.
Bro.
I'm tired of the
Haven't
possessed
seen it.
wala trope.
क्या?
I haven't seen it.
हाँ, we know.
I
I mean, it's out
haven't
here.
seen it either. As in
I
from
haven't
the
even
trailers.
seen the trailer. I
अच्छा.
haven't even seen the trailer.
Good.
So sometimes I do that. Like I
it's-
won't watch anything, and then
It's
just
about
watch
it's
them.
about emojis. matlab.
It's about
That's
this
what
guy.
I'm doing.
He's Aga Khani.
Shut up! He's honey. Right, okay.
चलो hijack कर
That's
लिया
a
मैंने.
story we haven't seen.
सर्किल का
before.
जोक hijack कर लिया मैंने. But चलो, okay. So the agenda इसमें ये था कि पिछली एपिसोड जो पिछले हफ्ते आई होगी, hopefully, who knows what happened between now and then. उसमें मरियम ने जिन स्टोरी सुनाई थी अपने बचपन की, and surprisingly cute जिन stories. Like there was drone element से ज़्यादा, it was like, yeah, एक साहब, it's one of the sahab stories. This is a genre of.
Wait, I thought Mariam was gonna read these stories.
No, she is, but मैं जरा बता रहा हूँ ना, recap
Am I?
दे रहा हूँ. Previously on
Are you gonna? Okay.
previously on Chalant Crew. Yeah, the stories were not like हमारी blast हुई हुई थी और हम कांप के उठ रहे थे या ऐसा कुछ था. It was like
वो
हाँ,
मेरी
हमारे घर
blast
में-
हो गई
No,
थी.
they're
मेरी
yeah.
blast हुई थी from the stories जो हमने recording के बाद सुनी थी मरियम से.
Yeah.
Oh, that
वो
was scary.
yeah,
that's pretty
उसके हमें rights नहीं मिले थे.
No, luckily for me, stuff like that hasn't happened to me. Ooh,
shit.
I don't know. No, I'll tell you दो जगहों की stories. ठीक है?
Okay.
एक, I'm gonna tell you stories about Karachi when I was living there with my friends and at the Seaview apartments. And एक, I'm gonna tell you stories about this house.
Yeah.
ठीक है? And the goings on,
Yeah.
current, past, future, maybe, I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm gonna tell you those. So yeah, what do you want to do first?
We'll go in
Right.
chronological order, and then after that, I think
Chrono-
Rizwan को कुछ आई थी स्टोरियाँ, तो
Excellent.
yeah,
Oh shit, हाँ, अच्छा.
Rizwan will do his best to pull them up and read them.
Great.
Rizwan bhai.
Khair, so Mariam, once upon a time you were living in
Yeah.
Karachi. How did you find yourself in Karachi?
So I was in Canada, and what happened was that I was visiting just Pakistan. I was in
Okay.
Karachi. I was in Islamabad. And I got a call from Copycats Productions asking me to do some of their Anwar Maqsood plays.
Okay. Okay.
So I
Okay.
ended up staying for a good 8-9 months. And ended up doing 3 plays with them. And we'd like tour all of Pakistan in those 2-3 months. Well, 1 or 2 months per play.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's why I was there, and the base was in Karachi, and luckily 2 of my best friends happened to be living there as well at the time. So we all just had an apartment, and we were all living there. And so when I first moved there, one of my friends who was already living there just told me that, listen, sometimes I get really freaked out.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, why? And she goes, because, I feel like sometimes when I'm sleeping, someone comes and sits next to me on the bed.
Oh man.
Okay. And I said, okay. And she said, and she said, there's a bunch of stuff that's happened to me. Sometimes this one time I felt like someone was playing with my toes when I was sleeping. Right? And
Khalid
she
Bajwa.
was just
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. I was about to say, he said it.
Oh no!
Wow. Wow.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah, we've cut it, but
Oh, yeah.
मैंने
Oh,
censor
why
किया.
are we
We've
cutting
not
it?
cut it.
Oh, why are we
Nahi,
cutting it?
why?
I'm sorry.
मैं एक और नाम बोल दूंगा.
I
All
mean, it is
fun.
kind of hilarious. I
Yeah,
mean,
chalo,
it has
okay.
kind of disappeared, so
Yeah.
keep it.
Yeah.
So she'd mentioned that stuff like this used to happen there, and I was like, "Achha, well, we'll take care of it." And once or twice, I remember while I was sitting in the living room and she'd gone to sleep, she called me in saying, "Okay, listen, I think can you please just come, because I feel like someone's just sat down."
Oh,
So I'd go
shit.
in, I'd sit with her, I'd comfort her. This one time, and she used to be, matlab, uski liye literally like वो nervous होती थी, and I'd never seen her like that. But वो घर पे अकेले होने से या कमरे में अकेले होने से, she'd always just be nervous, and I'd never seen her like that. So one day I got a call from her, and I was out having dinner, and she said, "Listen, can you please just come back right now?" And I said, "What happened?" And she goes, "I came back home." And usually what she'd do is, if she was the only one at home, she'd stand outside, she'd take a walk. She wouldn't go inside the house alone.
Yeah.
But this time she was like, I decided, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna gather all my courage and I'm just gonna bite the bullet, go in, see what happens. So she says she goes in, okay, and she kind of announces, okay, fine, I'm here and do your worst. I don't care.
Well, that's your
Oh,
problem.
fuck. Wow.
The second she says that, the light goes,
Oh no.
Oh, man.
right? And उस पूरे ब्लॉक की ना लाइट चली गई, तो उस वक्त वो घर के बाहर थी और वो अंदर जाई ना, और वो बाहर मतलब in the क्या कहते हैं, between the Seaview की buildings there's like lawns and areas where you can walk. So that's what she was doing. So I had to run, I had to take her up, and I had to obviously take care of her. अच्छा ये हुआ, and then the first thing that ever happened to me was that we had a bunch of people over. All our old friends, we were having a little reunion at the house. And, as it happens when old friends are together, you end up telling some spooky stories. So was tonight, and then the same friend, she was like, hey, listen, I forgot to tell you guys, but please look at what's written on the doors. So जिन लोगों ने हमें रेंट किया था, उन्होंने हर दरवाजे के ऊपर आयत लगाई थी. ठीक है,
Hmm.
और उसके ऊपर उर्दू में कुछ लिखा हुआ था, एंड हम क्योंकि बहुत बर्गर है माशाल्लाह,
Of course.
you know, never bothered reading
Yeah.
Urdu and deciphering what it meant. So तो हमने जब पढ़ा तो उसके ऊपर लिखा हुआ था आसेब ज़दा घर के लिए, right?
Oh.
And again, we were just like, what's Aseeb Zada, right? We
There's
had no
apples in the
idea.
house.
Apples.
Nobody, a Saib. Anyway, so ये था हमारा scene. So
Wait,
one
what is
of
a
so
save
this,
Zadagar? Can someone explain that?
Bro,
please?
both.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aseb is like.
I'm telling, we're getting to it. We're going to it.
Okay.
So this friend had basically just casually mentioned to her mother कि हाँ इन इधर आयतें वगैरह उन्होंने लगाई नहीं है और उनके ऊपर ये लिखा हुआ. She's like, what? And this friend of mine was like, yeah, and she goes, that means haunted.
Yeah, well. Oh.
So okay,
It's
she was
nice
telling us
that
this.
it seems like जैसे वो होता है ना usage instructions, तो वो आयत का जो पैकेट था ना उसके साथ आए थे यूजेज इंस्ट्रक्शंस के इन केस ऑफ जिन भूत अप्लाई कर, उन्होंने पूरा चिपका दिया दरवाजे के ऊपर.
Oh yeah.
Like you weren't supposed to see Asif
Yeah.
Zadagar. But yeah, okay. Great, crazy.
Okay, so the same night, like she's telling us this, and then she starts telling all her friends the stuff that's happened to her. I have a terrible memory, so I don't remember a lot of it. फिर ऐसे हुआ कि हमने एक और दोस्त को कॉल की जो लाहौर में बैठी हुई थी, ठीक है, and I was having a long conversation with her, and I went into the corridor, और उधर ना signals थोड़े खराब हो जाते थे. So I felt like the line went dead,
Okay.
right? Until I start hearing her again. But this time, I can't understand what she's saying. So she's speaking in a whisper.
Okay.
And दूसरा, she's ऐसे लग रहा है जैसे डरी हुई है, right? And मतलब full freak out हो रहा है whispering में. But I can't get a single word that she's saying. It's gibberish to me. So I hand the phone to one friend. He takes it. He's listening. He's like, her name is Vicky. He's like, Vicky, kya hua? What are you saying? What are you saying? Doesn't understand. Hands the phone to another friend. He's like, hey, is everything okay? I thought that maybe someone's entered her house. Maybe something's happened. She can't speak loud. She's trying to warn us. When it was given to the third friend, he just said that there was, in the end, all he heard was like really deep breathing. And then it went silent.
Fuck.
Right? Yeah. And it was literally something like that, right?
You don't do that.
Namaz पढ़ रही थी.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so I hope so. Honestly, that's the hope.
Right.
So at that point, I quickly called her back and I said, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I was like,
shit.
I was like, what was that? Why were you whispering? What were you saying? We couldn't understand a word. And she's like, when? And we go, just now, 2 seconds ago. And she goes, I've been trying to call you. The line dropped some time ago and your line's been busy.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, oh my God. So that was very interesting that right around the time that we had been telling stories about the house, this happened. And it happened to the 3-4 of us.
Yeah, 3-4 people. Yeah.
We haven't heard a lot of stories about these things getting into our phones and technology, right? Yeah. That's right. Crazy.
This is a new one.
Unless it's like pictures. I've seen people share pictures they've taken from their phones.
most of them generally वो ऐसे लगता है जैसे fake है, but पता नहीं, I don't know.
TikTok में ना आजकल I've been seeing वो CCTV cameras now they have some sort of like person identification kind of thing also ना कि एक figure बना हुआ आ जाता है चलता हुआ the camera is able to mark out अच्छा this is a head
A
or
box,
this is,
yeah.
or a box or like a stick skeleton or something. So there's a lot of videos that you come across where it's like अच्छा एक बंदा चलता हुआ जा रहा है और उसका skeleton आ गया. Now there's another skeleton but there's nothing there. Like there's like
shit.
a full, another आता हुआ like or a box or like movement identified but you see nothing in the
Oh
video.
shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
So then what
That's creepy.
you guys were living in this house और ये आसेब ज़्यादा सब कुछ था और तो why did you just मतलब again it was not enough of a issue to cause you to move मतलब कोई direct disturbance नहीं थी. Why'd you stay?
So that friend of mine, I stayed because honestly I wasn't that scared. मेरे साथ इतना कुछ नहीं हुआ था. One time I was leaving a room, the phone rang, and I kind of turned around and I felt like I was pushed. There was no one in the house, and I literally, I was pushed in the sense that I went flying into the table.
Oh.
जहाँ पे मेरा phone पड़ा हुआ था. I was like, how did that happen?
तब भी डर नहीं लगा.
नहीं, तब मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आया because और मैं गई. I got really mad and I said, listen. I was like, मैं आपको कुछ नहीं कह रही, आप क्यों मेरे साथ ऐसे कर रहे? Essentially.
Yeah.
So I was just really upset कि यार नहीं करो.
मुझ पे कोई फूक मार दे, I'll be just leaving the house.
Yeah.
But you see, here's the thing. It's not like I felt hands.
Right.
Push me.
Yeah.
It was just
force and you just yeah.
It was so weird. Uske baad, this friend of mine, she left, and then I also left, and another friend of ours was staying in one of the rooms, and she used to say कि वो कमरे में बैठी होती थी, everything would be fine. She'd leave the room, she'd come back, and things used to be all over the place.
Yeah.
And she'd come back because she'd hear things falling.
Right.
You know, weird activity happening in her room. So that happened to her, and then we don't know what happened with that house after that because everybody kind of left. Yeah, that's all I can think of.
But then इस वाले घर में भी there are happenings.
Happenings इस वाले घर में भी हैं. So we have I'll be honest, this house that I'm in right now, nobody's really lived in it. It was either rented out or ever since my mother and I moved to Canada, it had been a sort of base for the family. Like if anybody ever wanted to come, because most of us were at the time, and even now a lot of us are abroad. So it's like a base. It just was zarurat hai waaqe there, right? So and we never had any issues while we were living here. But then when I moved here permanently, like semi-permanently with Nadir, and we've been here 4 or 5 years now. Shuru mein apparently stuff used to happen with Nadir, and he never told. He never told me, and his sister told me because she had been having issues, and she told him, and he said, yeah, same. And then she came to me and she told me, and I was like, why has he not told me? But Nadir can be a little quiet about these things for some reason.
The sister, Sharmeen, shout out, she had these issues in this house.
In this house, and एक दफा से मैं ऐसे हुआ था that she was staying in the basement. ठीक है, basement अच्छा खासा बड़ा. We've done a TPR episode there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys.
तो उसी का जो next कमरा था ना, उसके अंदर she was staying, and what she had felt was her bed shaking really violently. And that had obviously, and that really messed with her. And she still to this day, she doesn't go downstairs. And And she had told Nadir this, and Nadir said that the same thing had happened to him as well, also in the basement. So even he doesn't sleep downstairs. He works downstairs during the day.
Thank you, Nadir, for telling us.
Yo, is Nadir gatekeeping jinns?
Seriously,
It feels like he is. He never tells.
I've done पता नहीं 2 घंटे का shoot हुआ नादिर के साथ. And then we've
but
done
here's the
podcasts.
thing now, like din mein, and it's not, there's nothing really happens. I'm sure you must have stayed upstairs, and upstairs, well,
Oh my god,
those are other stories.
I'm never stepping in foot in the house, bro.
But
इसलिए मैं
Keep
नहीं
listening.
ठहरता किसी के घर में.
चुप कर जाओ रिजवान, that's not a good thing. तुम्हारे मसले जो है ना इस वक्त this is a deeper issue that we can't even, like, we can't scratch the surface even right now. So be quiet about your issue. बुड्ढी रू मतलब क्या उम्र है तुम्हारी यार?
Rizwan, she fights ghosts. तुम कौन हो?
मेरी बात सुनो.
बिस्तर चाहिए, मेरे डेंचर्स ताकि मैं साइड टेबल पे रखूं.
देखो, my only spooky experience at your house was that I slept in the bed alone and I woke up और मेरे साथ नादिर सो रहा था. It's like, why? And I was in my undies.
Yeah.
And I wake up and he's looking at me.
I'm really sorry, I don't know how to.
But
here's the thing, he does that because he's scared of sleeping alone.
Oh.
And he'll never say it.
और हमारे बीच में गुल सो रहा था.
और अगर मैं रात को नहीं हूँ, if I am staying somewhere, if I'm staying at my friends and I come back in the morning, he's sleeping with the light on.
Well, मतलब that explains.
Smart guy.
मतलब yeah.
Achha, now let me tell you what happened to him. The only time that he called me, I was not in the city. I think I was in Karachi. उसने रात के 20 में मुझे call किया. And he said, I need to talk to you. And I was like, what happened? And he said, I don't know, I was asleep, but I kept hearing my name and I felt the bed move, and I woke up and मैंने light वगैरह on कर ली, and for a while like मैं उठा रहा, and then इसी तरह मैं सो गया, and then all of a sudden I heard like a loud crash and I woke up, and then he sent me a picture of what had made the crashing sound. So at that time, on my dressing table where the mirror is supposed to be, there was this big painting that I'd made of like an elephant head, right? And it was like facing this way. Sorry, this is my Nana's picture that I'm going to use as reference. So imagine it leaning like this. Handsome guy, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway,
love the middle part.
So it was leaning against like the table like this, right? When he woke up, when he heard the sound and he woke up, this was on the floor, like this.
Oh.
Wow.
It should not do that. Because if it falls, it's supposed to fall like this side up.
Yeah.
Okay? Or like this. Right? But it was like this.
Okay.
Wow.
It like did a flip in the middle, like
So
it was like someone kind of took it and bend it then instead of it doing a kalabati.
Any chance it could be the pets?
We didn't have pets at the time, or he didn't have it, because this was definitely a question that I asked him, right? I think हमारी 2 बिल्लियां होती थी, one had recently died and the other was a really docile one.
अच्छा.
और वो रात के बीच में ऐसा करती नहीं थी. And she was also not in the room from what I understand, because she didn't like sleeping in the room.
I think I remember Nadir telling us this.
Because it was, this painting it's not small. Even a pet couldn't change, like, you know, the configuration of say. It was a 4x5 की painting, like we're talking feet.
Oh shit,
Massive
acha.
painting. Yeah, it was a really,
holy
really
shit.
big painting. Acha, ye hua, and he was obviously really, really upset and perplexed, and so was I. कि ये कैसे हो गया? And then someone came over who said that they felt like there was something there, and he said that we think it's, and I said, it doesn't bother me. It's never bothered my mother. It's never bothered my sisters. And she said it doesn't bother the family because some jinn back maybe like 100 years ago, I don't know, when my pardada had made a pact or something.
Oh shit, Muckle games.
Yeah. And she said that this is like, think of it like as an airport.
Right.
So it's where a lot of their kind maybe gets together to go to other places and
Right. I feel this is familiar. Shayad, I feel like Nadir might have mentioned this to us. Because ye wali baat, I think this is something I've heard. Yes, Rizwan?
Nadir also sent us a photo of the painting on the floor. He told us
He
the
did?
story. Yeah.
Acha, so you remember all of it.
Yeah, this is a couple years ago, huh?
This is actually one of the rare times, one of the only times that he's told me that something was bothering him. But otherwise I'd have like a lot of stories.
But wow,
The other funny thing
I
is,
stayed at a Jinn airport. Wow.
You did stay at a Jinn airport, and this is
Terminal
not where
4.
it ends. This is not where it ends, guys.
Kyun?
Because, okay, so this is on 3 levels. We're on the ground floor right now. Then there's
Wait, can I
the
ask, this
basement.
house are you guys like the first owners, or did you guys build it, or were the previous owners?
My dada built it.
Okay.
Okay. And
Anyone
we're
else has
the
lived in
only
it?
owners.
Okay, no one else has. Okay.
No. Plenty of tenants have lived in it.
Okay, tenants have.
Abhi bhi jo upper floor hai na, wo kisi na kisi ke, it's always on rent.
Right.
But people keep leaving.
That's what I was about to say. A lot of tenants.
Do they not give you like reasons for leaving?
Tenants. Huh?
They give you reasons for leaving?
Yes. So when I wasn't living here and my sister used to be taking care of the house, there was a lady staying upstairs who was a doctor. And she was newly married, her and her husband. And wo thoda kabhi aapa ko complain karti thi, you know, I keep hearing things in the house and darwaze khud hi bang ho rahe hote hain. Then she had a baby. She had a baby, and that's when she started getting really scared. Because this one time, the baby's room got locked from the inside.
Oh, fuck.
And they had to break the door open. And that's when she freaked out. And she said, you know, I can't take it anymore. Pura kitchen se apparently bahut zyada awaazein aati hain. Like a lot of people complain about noises coming from the kitchen. So that's when they put their foot down, and they're like, she was having a mental breakdown. She was like, I can't take this. I need to move. So they moved. And then we had a really nice Chitrali family living here for a couple of years. And unka system ye tha ki unka ek bachcha tha, who's like in O levels or something, jo idhar permanently reh raha tha. Aur uska koi na koi maa, baap, बहन भाई आते जाते रहते थे. ठीक है ना, because वो इधर पढ़ रहा था. O levels Moika.
Okay.
So they were living here just fine. And then one day our help came to me, Rani Baji, and she was like, Baji, I think ye log chale jayenge. And I said, Kyun? And she said, because I've spoken to their help and they're saying कि इनको जिन तंग कर रहे हैं and ये लोग कुछ अरसे में चले जाएंगे. And that's what happened. In another month or two, they told us that they wanted to leave. And we were really sad to see them go because we had a really nice arrangement with them. They were really nice people. So they left and they ended up we're in F10 and they ended up getting a similar place in F11. And in fact, they weren't happy there to beach one can we come back or something, but by that time it was already taken.
But did they
Then what
mention कि
happened?
हम क्यों जा रहे हैं?
Not to us.
अच्छा.
But their help would share stories with our help. अच्छा, और simultaneously हमारी help के साथ ना शुरू में as such कुछ नहीं होता था. For years, they've been here 10 years, I think. And kuch nahi hua as such. And then recently, bahut kuch hona shuru ho gaya tha in the past 2 years. Like, they used to get locked in their quarters. This one time, the husband, Sultan Bhai, he was sleeping in a dari.
Yeah.
What?
And he, wo dari thodi moti hoti hai na dari. And he said, I woke up, rolled in it, because he was sleeping पीछे basement के बाहर वाली जो जगह है वहां पे he was sleeping. And he said, I woke up and I had been rolled into my dari and I was literally just being rolled all over the floor.
Oh shit.
Wow.
And he said, मैं बहुत मुश्किलों से निकला. And he didn't tell me this. I found out because I asked him, I said, how come you're sleeping? Because he changed positions. He started sleeping at the front of the house. And I was like, how come you're sleeping here now? Why aren't you sleeping at the back? And kafi der he avoided. And then he said, okay, because this is something that's happened to me.
Wow.
So you've never, but this is not something ke tum log ko ke bhai kisi ko, you know, the usual route ke koi alim sahab aaye, koi baba ji aaye, exorcism karen and, you know, get them out.
No, because Ali, maybe it's because like again, it feels like pranks and it doesn't feel like anything malicious. And I'll tell you something else, right?
Pranks, bro. Prank hai, bro.
Prank ही लगता है. ऐसे लगता है that Jinn kids are just having a good old
Messing
time,
about.
right?
Yeah.
Messing about. अच्छा, एक बहुत मजे की चीज हुई.
Well, we'll
that's
see.
Why and that's why I love our friends here. I love them. They know this. I keep telling them.
Yeah.
We
Are you talking
after
about
this,
your actual friends or jinns? Because I honestly,
the blurred lines.
yeah,
blurred lines. You don't know anymore.
But yeah.
So what happened, bro, was that I was unlucky to get a really kutte ki bachi of a tenant.
Oh,
yeah. She was the pain of my existence. This woman was
please.
wretched. She was vile. She was uncouth. I don't know how to tell you that she was just the pits, this woman. It was her and her daughter in A-levels. And let me tell you, my first issue that I had with her, was that this woman would enter my house without announcing herself, walk into my living room where me and Nadir are just sitting, or walk into the corridor. Why?
Yeah,
to find my help, our help, Rani Baji. Rani? Rani? And not acknowledging. Hold on. Not acknowledging Nadir and I sitting there.
Oh my God.
What?
वो जिन थी जिन.
And then I went up to her and I said, this is very inappropriate. Please not किया करें. मैंने किया था. तो फिर आप बेल बजाए. अच्छा.
Yeah.
है. ये पहली चीज हुई. Then she just became like, I don't even know, Samiri. It's because she was super entitled and she would do these horrible things you know, raat ke 11-12 baje, calling our help again, Sultan Bhai and Rani Baji, and they're not responding because they're like, let us sleep. And her walking into their quarters to drag them out, oh, my sink is clogged.
What?
Wow.
So इस तरह की चीजों पे because I wouldn't take it and I'd say please stop doing this, she started getting really mad at me and उसकी immediately ना वो गंदी गवार side came out and she मतलब started swearing at me वाली बात.
Wow.
Yeah,
And she
was
is
a
your
horrible woman.
tenant. मतलब
Yeah.
यूजुअली तो टेनेंट्स अगर होंगे तो वो मतलब अपने उनके साथ बना के
पाकिस्तान
रखेंगे.
में टेनेंट्स पूरे घर पे कब्जा कर लेते हैं, लाइक पेपर्स बनवा लेते हैं, उसमें क्या.
So I didn't have much power because my taya was taking care of the tenancy.
अच्छा. Okay.
The agreement was with him, so I couldn't do much about that. And so she did a bunch of really horrible things. She made me really, really miserable. And at one point, I remember just sitting there and I said, "Hey, hold on a second, dear friends of mine. इससे पहले तो you kicked everybody out, all the nice people.
हाँ,
So
इसको क्यों नहीं कुछ किया?
why aren't you doing anything to these guys? You know?" And I said it to Rani Baji also. I was like, why aren't they messing with these guys? And Rani Baji said the same thing. She said the same thing. कि वो उनसे बड़ी चुड़ैल है or something. She said. Did you guys freak out?
Yeah.
Was there something?
Just a little bit.
थोड़ी सी पॉटी आ गई.
But like what freaked you guys out?
Your screen just went blank. Like it went black and then it came back. Oh, we're like, oh, Margi, she's dead.
Did you still hear me?
Audio.
Yeah.
But if you're listening on the audio version of the podcast, Mariam's screen while she was telling the story blacked out.
What are you doing, Mariam? Please.
Okay.
Oh, what are you doing?
ऐनक
We don't do.
जिन से तो बात नहीं करेगी वो ऐनक लगा के.
नहीं वो सिर्फ ऐनक से
as
दिखते
if that
हैं. ऐनक
helps.
वाला जिन.
It's your friend, guys. It's your friend. He's come in.
Yeah. Stories नहीं बताता.
Our actual friend. अच्छा कौन
Baby boy.
Yeah. Okay. तो फिर रानी बाजी ने कहा कि वो उनसे बड़ी चुड़ैल है.
हाँ.
Wow.
अच्छा मुझे ये कहने की देर थी because I said फिर मैंने कहा कि प्लीज आप लोग कुछ करें.
The ultimate supari.
Allah ki kasam, I said it. I said please.
Yeah.
I said please. I'm very upset, and you've been very nice to me.
Yeah.
I have nothing against you.
Do you have this conversation like in
a
specific room of the house? Yeah, just randomly.
Prayer room.
Achha. Living room mein.
Yeah.
And
that's the business class lounge.
Airport ka business class lounge. Yes.
Business class. हाँ. So, couple of days later, their maid tells our maid that doors have started banging. Sounds are coming from the kitchen. And the child was basically डर रही थी. वो बेचारी बहुत डर गई.
वो कैसी थी? A levels वाली लड़की. She was fine.
A levels वाली लड़की थी. उसका यूनिफॉर्म था. ये सुनो ये प्रैंक चेक करो. Right? उसका यूनिफॉर्म है. वो रोज पहनती है.
Ashton Kutcher हाँ.
ये वो रोज पहनती है अपना. वो रोज पहनती है अपना यूनिफॉर्म. So she knows what her uniform looks like, right? This kid freaks out because there are 2 pockets when there should be 1 on her uniform, and she's having a meltdown. Right? कि ये कैसे हो गया? ये कैसे? ये कहाँ से आया? ये किसने लगाया? Why would this happen?
Wow.
Right? And she's having a complete meltdown, and the maid is trying to calm her down, and then she takes the shirt from her finally to take a look at it. There's only 1 pocket.
Oh,
fucking
you were seeing another one.
Okay.
Wow.
So the kid was like, I'm not having this. I don't know what kind of mind suckery this is, but I don't want any part of it. So she started telling the mother that I do not care. You know?
Yeah.
I can't stay here.
Like,
and then they moved.
Imagine the Jinn की ना thought process. कि यार अच्छा चलो हमें कह दिया है, तो we need to do something. क्या करें? What if there is 1 pocket? but it seems like two pockets. लेकिन है एक ही. Oh, high fives.
है,
जिन्हों के high fives. Bro, इनकी blast हो जाएगी. Wow. Shit. And then they left.
And then they left. Yeah.
Wow.
All this has taught me is that just be nice to Mariam. Like, don't get on her
Why?
bad side.
Yeah.
Because if you're on her
Why?
bad side, she's gonna call her friends.
And they
You know,
will
like
do.
Islamabad
I
back.
don't need to.
You know,
They
I
Islamabad
don't
back
need to call
बुलाते
my
हैं.
friends.
I mean,
Bro. Can I tell you something? I spoke to. I had my tarot's head. Rizwan, high five.
What?
Tarot
I
cards.
had my
Tarot card
tarot
reading.
cards right,
Tarot
Babu.
card.
Babu part
अच्छा,
two.
Babu
and
को-
the lady told me it was a babi.
Oh.
It was a babi.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
Bad
babi.
babi.
It was a babi. And she told me कि मेरी बदवाएं बहुत लगती हैं, बहुत बुरी लगती हैं.
Wow.
और मैं सिर्फ बदवा देती हूँ.
Mariam, you know, like I've been a fan of your work before I even knew Nadir.
So good, like your work.
Palvasha used to follow you in your
biggest fan.
Islamabad theater days and all that.
पिछली episode में मैंने बताया था of how I saw
Yeah.
and I was a big fan of her performance before I
Shut
even
up,
knew her.
guys. Just
I
shut
love
up.
it. Biggest, yeah, best actor.
It was so weird when actually Maya Khan wali jo thi, like I didn't
Can you
remember.
shut up, Ali?
You know, like
didn't
the
remember
revival
it
of
was her.
Pakistani media starts from yourself.
Then Basma told me कि हाँ Mariam थी ना Usman Khalid बैठ के. I was like, what? कौन सी video? I don't remember.
You told us this story.
Yeah, but
Basma also loves you.
it
देखो,
bears
Basma-
repeating ना कि जितनी तारीफ हो कम
Just
है.
keep being nice to me. No, I don't want tarif. I just want you guys to be nice to me.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Just.
We'll start with like ये pod की video
चाहिए,
will be
वैसे
only
कुछ
your
चाहिए.
face.
मैं आ रहा हूँ थोड़े. मैं शायद आ जाऊँ दिसंबर में. अगर
And
आपको
if
चाहिए
you
तो
और
are-
अगली दफा जब तुम में से कोई भी आए तो मुझे चाय बनाए के दे.
Yeah, and I mean,
मेरे ही घर में.
मैं basement में चाय बनाऊंगा जाके. It's okay.
अगर नहीं किया तो a series of inconsequential pranks will occur
Yes.
on you.
3 pockets where there should be 2.
You will lose your mind कि मैं चाबी किधर रखूं, wallet कहाँ जाना चाहिए. पूरा आपका दिमाग की तवाज़ुन उलट जाएगा.
Can you like
and if
wish
you
like
do-
we have the problem of like too much money? Is that a thing?
No.
ऐसा.
अब मेरी दुआएं लगती होती हैं तो क्या बात थी bro.
Yeah,
But like
well.
too much money is also like a badwa.
नहीं देखो हाँ लोग कहते हैं ना कि too much money is not good. ये बदवा दे दो.
Exactly. ये वाली बदवा चाहिए. आप बोलो इतना पैसा है, इतना मसले हुए.
Yeah.
जिंदगी बर्बाद हो जाए इसके पैसे
हाँ.
पे.
हमारी जो किस्मत है.
Amazing.
So guys, what keeps happening?
हाँ.
All
Well.
right. क्या हो रहा है?
Whoa. Yeah, she's fucking with us. She's fucking with us. ये नादर कर रहा है.
Okay.
कौन सी लाइट है ये?
Is it Nadir?
Nadir is lying there if you see him.
Oh no. Even he's not that tall. मैं long कहने वाला था. But well,
Okay, what's happening?
it could just be a
Nadir?
weak bulb.
Can you check?
Don't say
बेसमेंट में जाके चेक करो.
Huh?
चलो. अच्छा, audio people, if you audio
Seems
audience.
to be okay. Seems to be okay.
The light is now flickering. मरियम की ये हमने arrange किया. असल में set design हमने.
You know guys, मजा पता है क्या है? कि
हाँ.
हम में से भी किसी की flicker होना शुरू हो जाए.
Fuck you, Rizwan. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you, bro. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda का ना सर जो है ना वो it starts to move.
Fuck.
Starts
Don't you fucking
turning.
dare, bro. Don't you fucking dare,
Starts
yeah?
turning.
Don't you fucking dare.
Rizwan, do you want to go over the stories you got?
Yes. Let's hear those.
Yeah, I could find one story.
Yeah. Sure.
तो मैं पढ़ूं?
नहीं.
हमें वरना कैसे?
हमें telepathically तुम बता दो.
Okay, so this is from someone named Maida. What does Maida mean वैसे?
It's
Maida.
आटा है ना? हाँ. Yeah.
Okay, so she says, Okay, when I was like 13 or 14, we moved to a new subdivision in a single story home. It was nice. The house had a funky skylight. Sometimes it would look extra freaky when there was a full moon, but nothing big. When my brother, my dad, and I would leave for the day, my mom would be alone. She began to hear things. She said it was her imagination until one night. I crept to my brother's room after feeling slightly scared. He had two single beds in there, so I slept on one. After a while, I woke up paralyzed, seeing an ominous figure that looked like my brother walking towards me, except his eyes were a roaring red. Here, I closed my eyes.
देखी जाएगी.
तो बहुत क्या देख ली.
I closed my eyes and prayed Ayatul Kursi.
Of course, shout out.
Bus. When I came to, I ran to my parents, and turns out my brother was sleeping on their floor all night. Sure, some call it sleep paralysis, but my mother was convinced something was up with the house because she kept hearing things and she kept seeing shadows at night. She thought all this was related. When we moved out, something seemed to have followed her. She couldn't sleep. She started feeling very heavy. My mother, may Allah bless her soul, never missed prayer, but she found herself feeling like there was a weight on her physical self. She learned to ignore it. With time, she began to hear and see things, but she never mentioned it again because we didn't take it seriously. Eventually, the thing she's feeling goes away after several years. And my mom was like, it was like a new person reborn.
All right.
That's the end
took
of the
a turn.
story.
अच्छा, मैं ये सोचने वाला था when he
Oh.
said it. इंटरनेट वाले बच्चों को सबको स्लीप पैरालिसिस का पता चल गया. So that's really put a stop to many Jinn stories. अभी हमें भी एक Jinn story आई थी. वो बेचारे बॉय ने खुद ही उसको डिस्क्लेम कर दिया कि यार वो ये हुआ था, मैं सो रहा था, आई फेल्ट लाइक समबडी वाज चोकिंग मी, बट मैं तो बच्चा था, तो मुझे तो पता ही नहीं था स्लीप पैरालिसिस क्या होता है, एज इफ टू से कि इट वाज स्लीप, नाउ आई रियलाइज. हाँ, but the situation of his was ke he was living in Peshawar at the time, and this happened just a few days after the APS wala attack, and his house was very close to it. So I think maybe boy jo tha was, he was 11, so he was probably feeling stressed.
Yeah.
Oh, he was traumatized.
Yeah. तो उससे trigger हो गया होगा, but I was like, holy shit. But yeah.
Oh no.
फिर इसने बड़ी हमें explanation दी कि भाई I'm not from Peshawar. I was like, अच्छा मैं कुछ नहीं कह रहा. He was very cleared. I'm not from there. I was living there. पता नहीं क्या था, but चलो, yeah.
Wow.
Sleep paralysis.
तुम लोगों ने, sorry, I'm cutting you off, but I want to tell you about something really interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of flying handis?
This is sounds like something Nadir would say.
Like Nadir's
No.
alternative band name.
You would think this is something Nadir came up with. It's not. Flying handis are a legitimate phenomena discussed in Pakistan's like horror story circles.
Wow.
So,
I've never heard of this.
Apparently on YouTube you can find videos of
Jadugars
or whatever, jadugars making these handis, and the handis are basically, it's black magic.
Okay.
And they put all sorts of gross items in there, and they make like a mix and they chant over it or something, and then that handi like goes, and this is kind of funny, honestly. The flying handi just kind of flies through the air and people can see it and they know that someone gonna get hurt,
So does the handi like go and attack somebody? Yeah,
it hits someone and then they die.
Yes.
What the fuck?
You mean to say there's like a drone attack handi?
It's a drone attack handi, yes.
Wow.
And please, I did not have the heart to YouTube this, but apparently there are
Handi attacks.
handis being made on YouTube. So if any of you have it in you to watch those, please go ahead and let us know.
Guys, we should do this.
Yeah,
we should
watch
do
with
this
your
when we're together in Pakistan next time.
I refuse to watch any.
Watch with your parents.
नहीं, we'll make handis जब हम तीनों वापस पाकिस्तान में होते हैं नादिर के साथ. We'll find a co-working space. बंदू खान बैठ के.
Co-working.
Nah, bro, that's not happening.
Kitchen से उड़ के आ रही है.
Call it a cookout.
हम खुद ही मर The first victims and only victims will be us somehow.
Oh my God.
हंडी बनाने के चिकन में कढ़ाई बन गई.
Flying handis. Achha, there's one more story.
Oh, certainly.
Wait, I just need time to process this handi story. It's just mad. And
सुनाओ चलो. Last story सुनाइए.
Chicken masala, mutton masala, beef masala, fish masala. So we have another story. This guy wants to stay anonymous. So this is what he says. Basically, my eldest Popo always has had it against us. And of late, whenever she gives us a gift, I'm very so Ayatul Kursi padh ke I always phoonk on the gift and then use whatever it is. Use phir bhi karna hai. This time when we went to Islu.
किया करो बेटा.
हाँ वो ब्रूट का डिओड्रेंट दिया था पप्पू ने. फूंक के इस्तेमाल कर लिया. हाँ.
This time when we went to Islu, he said Islu. We went to see her. We went to see her and she gave us is it a vase or a vase?
There's both.
Vazi.
Both.
Fuck you, Sarkil. She gave us a vase and a beautiful bouquet.
Okay.
Strange, but chalo, thanks, Popo, I guess. We come back home to Lahore and I pray namaz and I go to do the Ayatul Kursi tradition. I do it and leave the room to get scissors to cut the flowers because they're really long, you know. So I want to cut their stems.
Sorry.
I come back to the glass vase broken. It's split in the middle in two halves, water everywhere. I quickly put the flowers in any vase which I can find, which we've had for ages. Next morning, that vase has cracked too, and the flowers are all dead.
Polo she's put.
Okay, so this is kind of weird, but because you know,
कुछ trigger हो गया.
supposed to actually हो गया. Fools are supposed to kind of absorb negative energy.
Yeah. Ayatul Kursi पढ़ी थी ना उस.
लेकिन, but that's crazy, bro. मतलब, I mean, you know, we talked about this with Rizwan ki life also, but like, there's people who you know, कि bro ये जादूगर है. Like, चलो यार खाने पे चलते हैं इनके रिश्तेदार हैं हमारी क्या करें. फूल आ गए.
No, bro, this person, I can't say who it is, but this person once told me that in their sustral, they one time, and they had suspicions that those guys did jadoo. And they went there and this person was wearing an Ayatul Kursi and it was like a chandi ki or sone ki or whatever.
Oh no.
And the Ayatul Kursi crumbled.
Wow.
When she went to their house.
Does it not work? I mean, that's all we have.
Yeah.
Material का मसला है या उसका मसला है?
ये वो सुनहार.
Maybe there was like a mistake in the ingredient.
Mistake.
Yeah.
मिलावट होगी मटेरियल में मिला.
मुझे कभी ये नहीं समझ आया कि जैसे Mariam is also saying tenants को चीजें experience हो रही हैं and all that, and so many people who experience stuff at their house, they take so much time to leave. Like एक तो ये reason भी होता है कि चलो they have to find a new place या पैसे नहीं हैं and they can't move. बट बहुत से ऐसे लोग जैसे हमारे कुछ पिछले पॉडकास्ट पे मतलब आए भी हैं on Jinn Stories and stuff who stayed in the house for years and years. How?
I mean,
Like,
how terrible is the housing market? बस अंदाजा लगाएं आप इससे.
No, because I also feel like there's also this there's some level of disbelief also.
100%. Also,
Yeah.
events are also not happening to everybody equally.
And they're not happening all the time.
Yeah.
And maybe there's
And
also
in
an
most
intensity
cases-
thing, right?
Intensity, yeah. Like in most cases, it's nothing that's too like what have our tenants been complaining about? They've been complaining about
Darwaza band ho
doors
gaya.
closing and opening, or
Pockets.
banging, or they've been hearing about sounds from the kitchen,
Yeah.
or pockets.
Yeah.
But like the only freaky thing that we've heard at least is the child getting locked inside the room.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
matlab, if it's like all those other things, I mean, how is that going to drive you to leave a place where you're comfortable?
But what
where you
about,
have it?
seeing a presence?
उसके था ना केहान वाली stories में तो
Yeah,
था.
that's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
मुझे नाम नहीं याद आ रहा था
One of
केहान
our previous
What does he see? What does he see?
the house that he had that they lived in Islamabad.
I remember this. This was on Twitter.
हाँ, and तो फिर
Yeah.
हमने घेर लिया उसको.
What was the figure that he saw?
He saw like a भेड़िए type की शक्ल peering around a corner. मतलब सीढ़ियों से ऊपर देखो ना तो it's like it was just there and it pulled back जैसे ही आपने देखा. That sort of stuff. And I think a house help I think got possessed or something at one point, or maybe that was
fuck me up.
Yeah, maybe that was the other guest we had. अब उसका नाम है भूल गया. Sorry. Zahra. Yeah. So yeah, they both had haunted houses. And there was like shit happening. But वही उनका तो like a lot of shit happened. उसका भी हुआ था.
And they were
shit.
like, हम 15 साल रहे हैं उस घर में.
उसका तो वो हुआ था ना where his sister goes to like the walk-in closet and there's like a tiny child thing in there.
In the closet.
In the closet.
Oh. And it was just sitting there?
Yeah.
Must small, like.
And like,
just
like
chilling.
So they were in Islamabad, right?
Yeah.
Islamabad में child things की बहुत stories हैं.
Oh, well.
So this happened to a friend of mine's older sister where one of them was sitting on her chest.
Oh, shit.
Bro, this would fuck me up so bad that I would sell everything that I have and leave.
And then like a circle, they just kind of appeared in the middle of this.
Oh, ये तो जिन के बच्चे हैं.
living room में, and they were in a perfect circle.
Nice.
And they just kind of appeared and then they just kind of disappeared.
I mean, how many reasons does one person need to not like Islamabad? I mean, किस बुराई को झुटलाओगे तो. But damn. चलें. On that note, thank you very much, Mariam. Second episode. Sir Khail, just if you're on audio, just come to the video version just to see his face throughout and also at this point. And yeah, अगले हफ्ते जिंदगी रही तो फिर साथ हमारा चलता रहेगा.
Seriously.
और
Yeah, guys, do you realize इन दोनों episodes के बीच में कितने लोग possess हो गए होंगे पाकिस्तान में?
All right. Bye.
Oh, can I please ask our Kale something?
On the episode?
No, let's
Right away.